just smacked the shit out of me. Wow, dude. It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth!
I'm going to, okay? Okay.
Yo, Mizomi, welcome to the Big Zo Podcast. I go by the name of Berto. Now, obviously, if you guys didn't watch the Oscar last night, I just posted a little clip of what happened between Will Smith and Chris Rock, the comedian Chris Rock. I know a lot of people got a lot of opinions about this. From what my knowledge and my reaction on Twitter, I see a lot of married couples are supporting Will Smith. And a lot of single people are supporting like Chris Rock and saying Will Smith had no business to do it. You know, what I will say, as a man, we do have options. As a man, when you're married, you want to protect your wife and your kids and your whole entire family. It's your job to defend your wife and your kids and your family. You know, I'm one of the guys, I'm a big Will Smith fan, you know, Fresh Prince. You know, I've been watching Will Smith since I was a kid. And shout out to the new Bel Air show. It's really dope. But at the end of the day, the question is, do I agree or disagree with Will Smith did last night? Well, here is what I would say. This is a prime example is a man should always defend a wife. You know, if the wife is in danger, the wife been disrespected, a man should always stand up and defend a wife. But at the same token, shouldn't we expect the wife not to put the man in a predicament, or should we say in an entanglement, or shouldn't a wife not put the man in a bad situation? What do I mean by that? The last 2 years, if you really looked at it, Will Smith, 3 years ago, Will Smith was like the king. He was on top of the world. Everybody wanted to be Will Smith. Every relationship goes with, I want to be Will and Jada. That's what J. Cole used to argue about. That's what everybody used to say about. That was the new relationship goal. Come to find out, you know, ever since Jada did the entanglement situation and the red table talk, which they need to get rid of the red table talk. If I was Will Smith, the way you defend your marriage is get rid of the red table talk. But that's another topic for another day. You know, in the last 2 years, Will Smith, people keep making fun of Will Smith, joking about the entanglement. Then it doesn't help that the entanglement which Jada had cheated on Will with August Alsina. And it doesn't help that every time Jada gets on an interview, she's like, you know, I miss Tupac. I wish Tupac was here, this and that. And you know Will Smith, everybody knows Will Smith, the Fresh Prince. He was never like this tough gangster dude. You know, he was like the cool guy, the corny guy, but the funny guy, the guy that everybody wanted to be around. He was the it guy in Hollywood for like forever, or at least after Denzel. And you have his wife always putting him in an entanglement. This is a prime example, fellas, and this is for y'all young guys. Before you pick a woman, you should always choose a woman that's going to have your back, that's going to be an asset instead of a liability. It seemed like since Will Smith met Jada, and what we noticed in 2020 because of the pandemic, you know, a lot of couples aren't able to work, so they have no choice but stay at home and, you know, be at home all day. We learned that either couples are either going to make it or they're going to fail. Prime example, Kim and Kanye. They didn't make it. This is an example when Will was at home and he realized, damn, Jada's a really piece of shit. And maybe we're just seeing it, or maybe he didn't see it, but he just not realizing it because of the pandemic. Because he had time to stay at home and not shoot no movies and just be at home all day. Because if you notice, you see Will was before he shot the movie King Richard, he was gaining a lot of weight. He was stressed. If you see Will, his eyes always crying. This is a prime example, fellas. Choose the right woman. Choose a woman that's going to be good for your mental health. Choose a woman that's not going to be out here embarrassing you in front of the streets. Choose a woman that's going to be out here raising your kids right. Because you see them 2 kids that look crazy as hell. But that's another topic for another day. Choose a woman that's going to have your back. Choose a woman, especially in the industry in Hollywood. If you think about it, you got cameras on you 24/7. So you want to make sure that you presented yourself in a well manner, that way you're not embarrassed to the world. Even on his acceptance speech, and you know, Congratulations on Will Smith winning an Oscar. He's well deserved it. If anybody didn't see King Richard, it was a great movie. He did a great job. But it looked like, damn, a nigga slap a nigga, then a nigga ended up winning an Oscar. But that's another topic for another day. In his speech, he said, love will make you do crazy things. What a lot of people don't understand is prison has a lot of black men in prison because of women. And black men need to understand is do not let these women make you act out of character. And especially if you have a woman that you've been with for almost 25 years, as in Jada, she should know better. I understand, people's gonna say, well, Jada has a health condition and Chris Rock should have known this because that's why her hair is bald, this and that. It was just a joke. At the end of the day, I'm not trying to say what Will Smith did was right or wrong. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, you have to understand, this dude for the last 2 years, people have been clowning him, cracking on him, and it doesn't help that his wife's going on TV. I wish the man was, Tupac was still alive, because I still love him, and this and that. And he got tired. He even said it in his speech. In this industry, you become the joke. You become the butt of the joke, and you got to understand that. Take it. But at the end of the day, there's only so much a man could take. And he was just angry, and finally he exploded. Now, what I will say is, I think it was a good thing that he slapped the black man, because if it would have been a white guy, I think Will Smith's career would have been almost over. But since it was Chris Rock, and it is Women's Month, and Jada does have a health issue, that's why her ball. So you got a lot of women are like, defending Will Smith. Hey, thank you for defending your wife. That's how a man's supposed to defend a wife. But news, black man, don't be that sucker and go out that way, because you never know how it could end up. Because what happened if you're in the streets and you're not in Hollywood and there's millions of people not watching you? A guy could have a gun or he have a knife, and you never know what can happen. Either you shoot him, he shoot you, somebody's lives get lost. At this instant last night, it was just a slap, and it was a funny slap, but it was a slap. It was no realistically like violent crime, at least to death. So my example and my thought about this is, fellas, just be careful who you choose, because for the next 25 years or 30 years or 40 years or even 50, 60 years, you want to choose the right woman that's going to be here for you, that's going to put your mental health first. Stop putting her attitude first. Stop putting her looks first. Stop putting her, financial money first. Just put your health first. Because at the end of the day, this is a prime example last night where a good guy, a truly good guy, a funny guy, a well-respected guy, a guy 2 years or 3 years ago, he was the number one A-list in Hollywood. He was the king. That in the last 2 years, he's been looking like a clown, like a beta man, and not an alpha man. Will Smith looked like a beta man, not an alpha man. This is a prime example, fellas. Choose the right woman. Do not let your woman be a liability to you. Make sure the woman that you choose is an asset to you. Make sure she's going to put your feelings first. Make sure she's going to put your mental health first. Because every time you see Will Smith, he's always crying. His eyes are always watery. His eyes are always red. And he looked like he's been smoking a lot of weed, but he don't even smoke or do drugs, at least to not my knowledge. At the end of the day, guys, this is an example when you with a woman for 25 years, 30 years, this is what the phrase is: cheaper to keep her than lose her. California, most likely they don't have no prenup. So if he were to leave, first of all, you guys see what happened to Dr. Dre. So more of the story is, Dr. Dre's wife ended up getting $100 million. More of the story is, if Will Smith would have left, it would have cost him a big financial burden. And he's the type of guy, he valued marriage. And I remember he said after he got divorced from his first wife, he felt like he was depressed because he always wanted to be married and this and that, and he don't believe in divorces. But at the end of the day, this is the prime example, fellas. Choose a woman that's going to be an asset instead of a liability. Choose a woman that's going to put your mental health right. But if you choose a woman that's going to respect you, the key word is respect you. I don't need loyalty, I just need respect. If a woman's going to respect you, then eventually she's going to be, obviously she's going to be loyal to you. This is a prime example. Choose a woman that's going to be an asset to you, that's going to respect you as a man, because you will not be out here doing sucker moves and being an example to society and being a meme to society and being a laughing joke to society. Anyway, man, Big Zo Podcast, it's your boy Berto. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment below. And also click like and subscribe. Big Zo Podcast everywhere, every social media platform. Miss on me. Find a girl that's a asset, not liability. Yay.